Welcome back, race fans, to Candy Mountain, hosted by Tiny Track Cars. This is the semi-final round of our Hot Tamale Tournament 1. The winner of this tournament will be crowned our first ever Hot Tamale. Before we get into today's racing, we have something super exciting for you. It is a tiebreaker between Sneaky Bob and Numbskull. Our scorekeeper made a huge mistake in our last qualifying round and advanced Sneaky Bob when really it was a tie between Sneaky Bob and Numbskull. So this week we'll start with a sudden death tiebreaker between these two drivers. Let's go ahead and hop right into that race to decide who will move on to the semifinals. Numbskull does get the pole position because he had more top finishes in their qualifying round. They're out of there for this tiebreaker round between Numbskull and Sneaky Bob. Numbskull in the inside lane as they head into the lollipop landing. Numbskull is well out front. He spins around, and Sneaky Bob was able to pass him on the outside as they go into the swirl. Can Sneaky Bob hold him out? Numbskull is in reverse. As they go into the donut wall, they come out side by side. Sneaky Bob seals the deal as they cross the finish line. Let's have a closer look at this race. There you have Numbskull up front as they come into lollipop landing. Spins around right before Cupcake Corner. Sneaky Bob is able to take advantage of that and pass on the outside. Numbskull is moving fast, but he's in reverse. He wants to make a move on Sneaky Bob as he's hopping back and forth as they go through the donut wall. Sneaky Bob sees Numbskull coming up on him and veers hard right to cut him off and take the win. He will be moving on. Let's take a look at our bracket now. There is our semi-finalists, the 8 on the inside. These 8 drivers will be battling 2 groups of 4 races each, 4-3-2-1 point system. Let's go ahead and meet the drivers in the first group. End count, driving for Chase Family Racing in that tuned Ferrari 360 Modena. Next we have Hefe in the Chrysler 300C weighing 51.4 grams. Number 3. Next we have Uncle Elvis in the Jaguar XJ220 racing for Uncle Elvis Racing, 57.7 grams. And lastly we have Spy Dude racing for Aces High Racing in that beautiful Studebaker, 58.9 grams. They're staged and ready to go for race 1. End count in the pole position. They're out of there. End count gets an early lead. Will he be able to hold on to it as they come down the lollipop landing? Spy Dude is right on his butt. A little bit of contact in the back as they go through the swirl between Hefe and Uncle Elvis. End count is still out front as they go into the donut wall. Coming out of the donut wall, I see a crash, and Spy Dude ends up taking first place, followed by Hefe and Uncle Elvis. I'm not sure what happened to End count as he entered the donut wall. Hopefully we can slow that down and take a closer look and see what happened to him there. You see some contact in the back between Hefe and Uncle Elvis. They're able to get that straightened out. Their End count bounces off the wall, spins around. You never want to be in reverse as you go into a dark tunnel. There you can see in the bottom right of the frame, he gets up on that curb and is unable to get loose. Spy Dude takes the win, followed by Hefe and Uncle Elvis. They will rotate one position to the right in clockwise fashion and race for race 2. Hefe in the 300C in the pole position. It looks like Uncle Elvis was a little faster and beats him to lollipop landing. Can he get by him? He does. End count spins around. It seems like that shorter wheelbase is just a little squirrely compared to these longer wheelbase vehicles, and he's unable to keep it straight. Uncle Elvis comes down and finishes first, followed by Hefe. Is anyone able to finish after them? Ooh, we have End count and Spy Dude rolling across the finish line in reverse. They must have had some contact there in the donut wall. Let's take a close look at that. Uncle Elvis is able to squeak by the whole pack from the outside of lollipop landing, and he is never looking back from that point on. No one is able to catch him. Hefe comes in second. Not sure what happens between these last two, but they are tangled up and they both come rolling slow across the finish line in reverse. Both of those cars still look beautiful in reverse. They rotate again. Uncle Elvis in the pole position. Will he be able to capitalize on this? Spy Dude to his left in that blue Studebaker. As they exit lollipop landing, Uncle Elvis is out front. End count gets up on the curb. You see Hefe trying to get by him there. Is he able to squeeze by? End count does hold out the third place position, but Uncle Elvis comes away with it in the first place, followed by Spy Dude, N-Count, and Hefe. As they roll around the loop and back to the start line, let's take a closer look at that. N-Count hops up on the curb. Hefe wants to get by, but is unable to get by at that point, and I'm pretty sure he holds him out for the rest of the race as well. Uncle Elvis up on the sidewall there as he enters the donut wall. Clean race for Uncle Elvis. He will take 4 more points, followed by Spy Dude, N-Count, and last but not least, Hefe. In this case, he does get the least amount of points. Heading into race 4, Uncle Elvis has already received enough points to move on. Now it's a battle between Hefe and Spy Dude. Who will come out on top between those two? Unfortunately, N-Count is out and is unable to move on due to points. Spy Dude out front, followed by Uncle Elvis right in his tail, pushing him through the swirl as they come down towards the donut wall. Spy Dude gets sideways and hits a pole of cotton candy. Uncle Elvis was able to hit him back onto the track and launch him down in reverse. He was able to hold on to first place and 4 points, moving him on to the next round with Uncle Elvis. There you have Hefe and N-Count hung up on the track. Let's see that replay again, how Spy Dude was able to recover from that nasty wreck and still take first place. There he comes by the monster trucks, gets sideways, hops around, smacks that cotton candy, gets airborne, gets hit by Uncle Elvis, and continues down the track in reverse to take first place and move on to the finals. Uncle Elvis comes in second and continues to add to his points. He will move on as well. There you have a look at our bracket. Uncle Elvis and Spy Dude moving on. Thank you, N-Count, and thank you, Hefe, for taking part in this tournament. You've done great so far. I hope you can join us at this track again. Moving on to the next group. We have Sam Hall, Team DRT3K in the Ice Charger. Then there's Biff, driving for NRV Diecast Racing in a V16 Cadillac. That thing is long and mean. Next we have Puff, driving for Puff Racing in the 2019 Mercedes-Benz A-Class. And last but not least, who just won the tiebreaker round, driving for Vapor Diecast Racing, Sneaky Bob, 59.2 grams. Race 1 action, here we go. Sam Hall in the pole position, Sneaky Bob behind him, the two beautiful yellow cars on the outside lane. As they head down that main stretch, Biff is way out in front. He's able to hold on to that as Sam Hall and Sneaky Bob are trailing behind him as they go through the swirl and back out of the swirl. Where are they at? Biff gets a little squirrely and flips over onto his lid. Will they be able to push him down the track? Nope. They are able to get by. Sam Hall with the victory of race 1, followed by Sneaky Bob and Puff. Biff nowhere to be found. Let's take a closer look at that. Biff way out in front in that fast V16 Cadillac. Sam Hall, Sneaky Bob, and Puff behind him. They seem to be bouncing off the walls a little bit, giving Biff some room. He bounces off that right-hand wall, rolls it straight over into the donut wall. We don't know what happens from there, but all 3 drivers are able to get by him and complete race 1. 4 points for Sam Hall, 3 points for Sneaky Bob, 2 points for Puff, and 0 points for Biff. As they roll around, you see those beautiful Hot Tamale signs. Those drivers want to be the first ever Hot Tamale. Biff in the pole position. Let's see if he can get some of those points back. He seems to be the fastest car, but also the most squirrely. Biff far out in front again. He looks like he might walk away with this one. He gets up on the sidewall as they go into the swirl, rolls over again, and the driver is able to get by him. Sam Hall is able to get by. I don't see anybody else. Puff is able to get by. Anybody else? I think Sneaky Bob might have got hung up with Biff after he's flipped over in the swirl. Let's take a closer look. There they are. He does make it by, but does not have enough speed to make it back down the track. Sneaky Bob is hung up there with Biff. Let's take a closer look at that rollover here. It happened right in the transition between this camera angle and the swirl camera. There it is. He rolls over to his right. Sam Hall is able to get above him. Puff is able to get above him. Sneaky Bob tries to get by, but does not have enough momentum or horsepower. I think it's momentum because these are gravity-driven cars. No horses were hurt in the making of this video, aka horsepower. Moving on to race 3 of the second group, the semifinal round. Puff in that Mercedes-Benz in the pole position. Biff behind him. I bet he'll be pushing Puff down the track, and yes, he is. Puff and Biff are far ahead as they go into the lollipop landing, and Biff rolls it over again. Puff is out front. Sneaky Bob is able to get by. Sam Hall looks like he was able to get by Biff as well. Sneaky Bob spins it backwards. Puff takes the victory, followed by Sneaky Bob in reverse, and Sam Hall comes to a crashing halt at the finish line, but he's able to finish nonetheless. He's on his roof. Biff's on his roof. Biff with 0 points, his third DNF. He will not be moving on to the final round. Due to points, he is unable to move along. Unfortunately, that car is fast, but he was unable to keep it on the track today. There's Sneaky Bob spinning it in reverse. Weird tactic to throw it in reverse when you're in second place, but that's what he did. Did it pay off for him? No, it didn't, but second place is still good. Then Sam Hall got his brains rattled as he hit that median and flipped over. Luckily, the paramedics are right there on site and able to address him. He's able to shake it off and get right back in that round. Back to the start gate. Sneaky Bob in the pole position. It's really anyone's game now other than Biff. Anything can happen between the 3 other cars as they head down the main straightaway towards the lollipop landing. Sam Hall is out front, followed by Sneaky Bob and Biff. Puff bringing up the rear. It looks like Sneaky Bob wanted to get by Sam Hall, but he is unable to. We have some contact in the straightaway, some cones down, and someone's on their lid. Who flipped over? I was unable to see that. That all happened way too fast, but nobody comes out of the donut wall. What in the world just happened? All cars were consumed by Owen, the vicious cat, in the donut wall that no one knows is back there. There he goes, Sam Hall sideways, Sneaky Bob sideways, Biff's on his lid. Puff enters with max speed and gets tangled up with everybody else, and we are left with a pile of barrels rolling back and forth and no remains of any cars. Just kidding, they're back at the start line. Let's rerun that after that 4-car DNF. Still anyone's game except for Biff. Biff's out, he biffed. Sneaky Bob on the inside, is he able to hold on to that position through lollipop landing? He does, followed by Sam Hall. Biff behind them, followed by Puff in the rear again. Sneaky Bob out front. Sneaky Bob bounces off the bridge post, causes a massive wreck. Sam Hall out front takes the win, followed by Biff in that V16 Caddy that is not moving on to the finals. Let's see what happened in that massive wreck. It all happened so fast, I was able to see it. There they are in a 4-car tight pack as they head into the lollipop landing. The 2 yellow cars drop back just slightly. Sneaky Bob is out front as they come out of that turn. He gets up on the side, hits that cotton candy, gets hit by Sam Hall and flipped directly over onto his roof. Sam Hall is able to make it through, and Biff takes second. Sam Hall takes first. Let's take a look at those points. Sam Hall moving on, Puff moving on. Unfortunately, Biff and Sneaky Bob, thank you so much for participating in this tournament. You've been great. Congratulations on making it to the semifinals. There you have Uncle Elvis, Spy Dude, Sam Hall, and Puff moving on to your finals of Hot Tamale Tournament 1 that will be airing next week. Please come and watch it with us. This is going to be an amazing 8-lap final video. Who do you think will win this tournament and become the first ever Hot Tamale? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.